So some of the things that you guys may not understand in regards to LinkedIn is that your LinkedIn profile may be costing you clients. And I know that kind of sounds a little bit weird, but there are some things that you may not have on your LinkedIn profile that are costing you visibility, costing you money, costing you clients. So we're going to kind of run through some of the key components of what you need to have on your LinkedIn and why. I'll give you some examples as far as what I have on mine. But also, we're going to encourage you after you're done listening to this episode, is give yourself like a 10,000 foot view audit of what is on your profile compared to what we went over today. But before we dive in, we just wanted to let everyone know that Nancy and I, to help all of you with, I guess, where you stand as far as your LinkedIn presence, your LinkedIn visibility, your LinkedIn knowledge. We created a LinkedIn scorecard that takes about 2 minutes to go through. And it's going to ask you just some very simple questions in regards to your LinkedIn profile, your network, your connecting, your messaging, your content. And it's going to spit out a score that's going to basically tell you where you are and what you need to focus to improve upon. So if you would like to take our free LinkedIn scorecard, all you have to do if you're watching on social, Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, is type the word me in the comments and we'll send you the link. If you're listening on the podcast, it's even easier. Just go to the description of the episode and you can grab the link right there. So, what I'll say is that uh, this is not to put anybody's profile down, but I've analyzed enough profiles in the last 14 years that I can tell immediately what someone needs to improve upon that will enable them to increase their visibility almost overnight. And it really begins with your background banner, which the analogy that I give people is when you fly somewhere and you come out of that airport and hop into a taxi or an Uber or whatever, and you get onto the highway, the first things that you start seeing are billboards. And your LinkedIn background banner is your billboard. And a lot of people either don't have anything there at all. They have maybe too many words. So there's just like paragraphs worth of information on there. The two things that you need to have in your background banner is who you help and how. And using mine as an example, mine says the LinkedIn sales, content, and marketing system for coaches, consultants, and service professionals. So it states what I do and who I do it for. So really turn the mirror around, take that audit, look at your LinkedIn background banner. Is it clear what you do and who you do it for? The second key thing that you need to look at is your headline. You are allowed 220 characters, and there's two key things that you need to have listed in your headline. Number one, you need to have some sort of very, very clear professional title. Sales executive, sales professional, owner, operator, creator, founder, et cetera, of whatever company you are with or you're a part of. And then also some searchable keywords that your ideal client or business allies are searching for that would enable your profile to populate. So, how you can test this is go to the search engine, type in law firm, comma, controller, and you will see in that search result, after you filter by people and second connections, it'll show you in bold where those keywords were found in the headline. So a lot of people think they have to put an I help statement. People aren't searching for I help. They're searching for specific keywords that would enable your profile to populate. And you can always look at mine, you can look at Nancy's as an example. The third thing is your about section. This is where you get to tell a little bit of your story. And the key to this is you get to tell your story. So there's four keys to a successful about section on LinkedIn. Number one key, make sure it's written in first person. You tell the story, not someone else. So it should be I, not Scott. So a lot of people end up writing it like they're getting invited on stage at a TED Talk and someone's giving their introduction. You give your introduction. Number two is make sure that it's at least 300 to 500 words in length at a bare minimum. It could be up to, I believe, 2,600 characters, somewhere around that neighborhood. It doesn't have to be that long, but you do not want it shorter than 300 to 500 words in length. Third is add a little small skills section of skills that you've attained over your professional career and that you still have. And that could be, website optimization, sales, lead generation, marketing, branding, content creation, AI, and so on and so on. And the fourth and final thing is making sure that you have a clear call to action, a CTA. And I recommend two. Number one, make sure you have your business website if you have one. And number two, your business email. Do not include your personal email. Have a business email. So I was going to do the fourth one, but this is one of Nancy's favorite things to talk about. So I'm actually going to let her talk about this. So, Nance, what's the fourth key component to optimizing your LinkedIn profile?
Yeah, the fourth key component is when people leave their featured section. Okay, and I'm talking about that little section. It's actually additional that you have to add it when they leave it empty or they don't add it. Your featured section is one of my favorite parts. Okay, it's basically your chance to really billboard and get all of your next steps and your featured content and all the stuff that you want people to see right in front of their face. And when people leave their featured section empty or not, using it at all, we're leaving so many opportunities on the table. People are usually, right, whenever they're looking to connect with someone to work with, they want to know next steps, right? They want to know like how to work with you or, different things about you. And what Scott's showing, obviously, for those of you who are watching this on video, the featured section is so important. And this is just the greatest way, right, to really showcase the next steps and different links, newsletter content, different, posts that you've done, different things, right? Even lead magnets, right? Ways to collect emails. You can even have your book a call link in your featured section. So it is definitely one of those sections that I feel like whenever I look at someone's profile and they're missing, I'm just thinking, oh, huge opportunity right here because it is so impactful. Now, after your featured section, one of the things that we also see, and this kind of ties into it, is there's no clear next step, right? When someone goes to your profile, this drives me insane. When I actually go to someone's profile, and this just happened to me actually a few months ago, I was looking to hire, someone for operations. I searched them, I found their LinkedIn profile, and there was no easy next step, right? I'm like, where's their website? Where's a link where I can book a call? Where's their company? Like, literally, they made it really hard. I had to search, okay? There's different places where you can add call to actions, right? If you guys still have the ability, I know in the free version, I don't think you can do it anymore, but if you're grandfathered in, you can add a link at the very top of your profile. Again, going back to the featured section, even including in your about section, right? Make it very clear and make it easy so that people, I love Donald Miller always says, don't make people burn calories trying to figure out how to work with you. So make sure that you have clear next steps, how people can work with you. So again, make it nice and easy for them. And then the last, in fact, actually two things that we typically see is number one, well, actually number six, you have no proof. Okay, no social proof. You have no recommendations. There's no results. There's no client results. There's nothing in there that says you are the real deal. And again, for those of you who are watching, you can see Scott has over 533 written recommendations on LinkedIn from clients that he has previously worked with. That is insane. Okay, that is super overachiever. Do we think that you need to have 500 written recommendations? No. If you even have five, right, that's a good start. But we should be able to reach out to any previous clients that we've worked with, anyone that we've actually maybe mentored or worked in as a colleague, anyone that can truly share some information or feedback on you and you as a person, right, your character. Ask for a recommendation. And again, it's the rule of reciprocity. You can give each other one. Even the clients that have worked with you, you can give them feedback on how great of a client and how wonderful they are. So the thing is make that part of your routine every single time you work with a client, because that proof and the ability, right, to have that on your profile under the recommendation section is huge. The seventh thing that we often see is just plain, and no, we're going back to the top of the profile, is that your photo is missing. Okay, please don't make that mistake of not updating the basics. Please make sure that you have a photo. Make sure it's current. Okay, that photo should be you. And you know what? It should be personable. Don't make it like you just like with a frowny face or, looking super, super serious. We want to build that know, like, and trust. So use a professional picture that really showcases who you are and obviously is that warm and fuzzy, right? We love eye contact. We want to make sure that you're looking forward, not like you looking off into the distance, over at the clouds. It should be you looking head on. So those are, again, the most common things that we see. Just to kind of run through it again, is got to have a clear headline, right? Make sure that is clear. 2, your about section. Make sure that is tightened up with all the tips that Scott shared. 3, your banner. Make sure that baby is updated and it's super clear for someone to understand how you work with people. Your featured section. If you do not have a featured section, please add it and take advantage of that prime real estate. 5, make sure you give people next steps. Make it super easy how to work with you. 6, add those recommendations, right? Make sure that you add that social proof. It's great. You can use them later as well in other capacities. And then 7, make sure you update that photo. Now, we're going to give you really quickly just a 10-minute LinkedIn profile audit that you can run today. Again, you can walk through this. Like I said, there's a great episode to open up as you're actually going through your profile. So Scott's going to talk you through, right, the 6 steps that you can go through just to make sure if you're going to do just these 6 things today, you're really going to obviously be able to audit that profile. You'll be able to make some tweaks and obviously improve it. And, this is just the first step. And remember, LinkedIn is so, so powerful and it's so impactful. And when people search for you, your name appears and usually your LinkedIn profile comes up. So we want to put our best foot forward. So Scott, you want to share those steps for the audit?
Yeah, so the first thing you want to do is you want to ask yourself, does my photo look like me? Is it recent? Is it clear? And is it welcoming? So if it checks those boxes, you're good. If it doesn't, just take a little selfie, smile, and upload it. The second thing is, does your headline include searchable keywords that your ideal client would be searching for? So again, do that test that I said earlier in the episode in the training. Search law firm, comma controller, and see how those actually populate in other profiles, as an example. Third, does the first 3 lines of your about section name your client's problems? Because again, you have to understand, and just to kind of give you an example of my about section, what I actually have written. My mission is simple: help consultants, business coaches, and service-based professionals make meaningful connections, build their authority, and generate measurable revenue through LinkedIn. I show people how to use LinkedIn strategically, not sporadically, so they can turn their expertise into opportunity. Very clear. Fourth, does your banner state who you serve and what you promise? Again, going back to mine, I said this earlier in the episode. The LinkedIn content sales and marketing system for coaches, consultants, and service professionals. Fifth, is there a clear next step in your featured content section? So, as Nancy alluded to on mine, we have our business website, we have our newsletter, and we have a free lead magnet to collect emails. So that is obviously next steps. You want to have that section optimized where you're taking people from on the platform to off the platform. And sixth and final is, did you include a call to action and real proof? So the call to action can be included in the featured content section, as I aforementioned. It could be included at the bottom of your about section with your email and your business website, but also real proof. If you have a client testimonial and it's on YouTube, add that video link to your featured content section. But most importantly, ask for those recommendations. People say, well, wow, you have 533 recommendations. Yeah, that's over 13 years. It's taken a lot of time to get to that point. And what I can tell you is that consistency wins. The more consistent you are on LinkedIn, the better results you're going to have. So, again, before we end today's episode, if anybody would like to take our new free LinkedIn scorecard to see where you stand as far as how well you're doing on LinkedIn, if you're watching on social, Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, type the word me in the comments and we'll send you the link. If you're listening on the podcast, just head to the description of the episode and you can grab the link there. So, everyone, please enjoy the rest of your days. Love and gratitude, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.